in terms of traffic on the West End. It's not really a crowded place. The roads are narrow, but it's relatively safe as far as traffic goes. I guess because it's like so windy, you're forced to slow down, and also there are just not a lot of cars there. I bike here, I run here as well, and I like it a little bit better than the beach in the sense of there just not being that many cars passing and driving towards you. It's La Mirage Hotel. That's the sister property to Shirella Inn. Both great small properties, locally owned. Seems like I'm driving fast, but I don't think I'm driving fast. These properties are just like whizzing by. There's Ivan's, otherwise known as Catch a Falling Star. Again, one of my favorite restaurants, I would say, too. Highly recommend them. They do really good stuff, great service and great food. Coming up here on the right, this is the world famous Rick's Cafe, where you can do cliff jumping if you are brave enough, but it's definitely, I would say, the most popular place, bar and the grill, place to go in the grill. LTU, that's a popular expat bar. And they do their famous Halloween party every October as well. I've never been, but I hear stories. I hear it's a lot of fun. Little girl saying hello. Right, we are going deeper into the West End. We're almost in deep West End, but not quite there yet. Coming up on the right is the Caves, which is known as a very exclusive property. A lot of celebrities have been there and stayed there before. I actually went there for dinner the other day, which was very nice, good food. We had dinner in the Cave. And this is our famous lighthouse. Unfortunately, it has been privatized, so from what I understand, there's no more tours to the lighthouse, which is unfortunate. I've never been. It's just like one of those things you just take for granted. You're like, oh, you'll get there sometime, and the next thing you know, somebody buys it and you can't go in. But it's still an important part of the grill nonetheless. Then on the right is Whoopi's, which was just a famous chill-out spot back in the day, particularly during the spring break heyday in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now you could either go right or go left, and we're going to go right. Down to the left is the grill laundromat, and then right here, I guess this officially starts the Deep West End. And I like the Deep West End. It's a very different feel from even the West End, the regular West End, if you will, and a very mic check. Sorry, rookie mistake. And meant to click a button there, and I didn't. You can hear me now. We good? Yeah. So sorry, I was just welcoming you all to our Thursday live stream. Let me just say that all again. Thursday weekly live stream series, part of our real estate series leading up to the International Real Estate Conference and Expo this month, April, pretty much in 2 weeks for the most part. This is the third installment of this series, and we have one more to go next week. We should be having somebody join us on Sunday, hopefully, for our regular live stream. But these Thursday streams have been dedicated to just focusing a little bit more on upcoming the upcoming International Real Estate Conference and Expo. And we've been having some really, really excellent guests the last couple of weeks. And I know today we have a really excellent guest as well. Just, of course, learning about the conference, but delivering so much on real estate value, and particularly real estate in Jamaica, of course. But we're just learning so much, and this is kind of why I love doing these things, because I not only get to share the lessons with you all, but I get to learn myself. So there is definitely a little bit of a selfish motivation here. And I will be. I keep telling everyone I will be there at the conference and the expo on all days, as a matter of fact. So it'll be a great opportunity to meet a lot of you. I know many of you said that you are going to be going, and I will also be speaking at the conference as well. So it's going to be a great few days. Somebody's asking the cost. I'm going to put the hold on, maybe I could do it this way. No, I'm trying to get up the website there. This is the website. You can go to irec.realtorsjamaica.org. You can get all the information about buying a pass for the entire weekend or couple of days. And then also you can just buy individual days if you'd like. And we are also going to be doing a giveaway this Sunday. As a matter of fact, we got 2 free tickets that we're going to give away. So make sure that you tune in on Sunday, and we're going to give those tickets away. So very excited to run that competition. We've never done a competition on this channel before, so it's the first time we're doing it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So you can look out for that. So if you're looking or thinking about going, and you're looking for maybe one of these cool opportunities, this is one of them to perhaps come and join the conference and the expo. So we're gonna, I know usually we go into like where everybody's from, which I always like hearing, and everything like that. So maybe we'll hop into that after we speak with our guest, because we have our guest who is in the staging area, and we would like to kind of get this stream going. And I always say, like, if you have any questions as we're talking and as we're going through our discussion here, please put it in the comments. I will save it and do my best to get them answered. So at this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Junior Taylor, otherwise known as JT, to the live stream here. He is actually the organizer for the IREC 2024, and he's the CEO and founder of 2020 Jamaica. And he comes with a wealth of knowledge and experience in putting events together. And we are, at least I am, very excited to learn even more details about the event coming up. And there we have JT on. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Absolutely. Very nice to have you. Thanks for taking the time to be here.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's always good to be amongst famous people. So
I don't know about that. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here.
Awesome. So let's hop right into it. Me and you have had a couple of discussions before this, and about the conference, obviously, and doing this stream that we are on now. But in your mind's eye, could you tell us about the conference and what we can expect, and people who are going to be joining expect at the conference?
Certainly. Well, the conference starts on April the 18th and goes through the 20th. The Conference and Homeowners Expo is over 3 days. The first 2 days, 18th and 19th, is the actual conference. And then the 19th and 20th are the Expo. So there's an overlapping day on the Friday. The conference will showcase several seminars and panel discussions with varying topics, primarily featuring things about real estate in Jamaica and the region, topics that are of interest to developers, realtors, first-time home buyers, people just generally interested in real estate and the business of real estate, financing, mortgages, green and smart buildings, AI in real estate, tourism and real estate, and how that's affected the landscape of Jamaica are a few of the topics that will be discussed over the 2 days. And then the Homeowners Expo is literally just that. It's everything about your home. There'll be realtors there, mortgage agencies, people who do roofing, people who do tiling, anything to do with house, appliances, furniture, cellular connections, the works. So all of that will be available at the Homeowners Expo, which runs the Friday and the Saturday, like I said, and the admission for that is free. There's a chart to go to the conference, which, as you said earlier, they can check on the website based on what they want to do. irec.realtorsjamaica.org, and that has all the registration information for the conference days 1 and 2. And yeah, so that's that in an overview. That's a huge overview of it. We can get down to some nuts and bolts if you wanna.
Yeah. So what was the thinking behind making the expo free?
Well, the idea of the expo being free is that you want as many persons to come and see what's being offered for your home. Why would I want to pay to go hear about new roofing techniques or security systems? So through our sponsors and our booth holders, we've been able to afford to make it free for the public. So, welcoming one and all.
I think that's
Starts
amazing.
at 10 o'clock to 7 o'clock, both Friday and Saturday. So come on in, on Friday or Saturday, bring the kids. There's a kiddie corner. There's going to be music, DJ all day, live performances throughout the day. Some of the sponsors in the expo will be doing presentations throughout the day, both Friday and Saturday. And there's a lot to see. There's going to be electric cars, which I'm excited to see myself, because that's pretty new technology to Jamaica. You're growing fast, but that'll be there. And then, like I said, other booth holders will have all their fancy wares and services that they're going to be offering.
Will the Tesla truck be there?
If you're driving yours, I'm sure it will be.
I wish. So it sounds like this is a pretty big deal, and it sounds like I would expect like a lot of people are going to be there. What is your expectation as far as number of patrons?
Certainly for the expo, we figure that we're going to see well over 1,000 people. Our marketing through what stuff that you're doing, the stuff that we're doing on social media, the stuff that we're doing in mainstream media. We and our sponsors and participants are all anticipating and helping with the marketing. So we expect to see some good numbers passing throughout the day. I mean, it's a long day, 10 to 7, that's 9 hours. So there'll be ebbs and flows throughout the day, but we expect to see good numbers throughout the day.
And if I'm a person who is, let's call it speculative about the real estate market in Jamaica, I don't own anything, perhaps I don't even know much. Is this a conference expo that would fit that demographic, so to speak?
Well, certainly. I mean, like I said, in the conference on Thursday and Friday, you're going to hear a lot about what's available in real estate and financing. But certainly at the expo, you will be able to talk and hand-to-hand, face-to-face with realtors, some specializing in commercial, some specializing in residential. But you will certainly have the gamut of persons that if you are thinking about real estate. I know last week when you were talking to the president, I remember one of your viewers mentioned having a spend to make to purchase a place in Negril, and wanted to know whether or not they were in the ballpark. And the president, in a in a positive plug, said, just call me. So, not to outdo him or not to be like him. I'm also a licensed realtor associate, so I would appreciate anybody wanting to do any business in real estate in Jamaica to call me.
Gotcha. So let me, so what would be the best contact information for you for people to get in touch with you?
JUNIOR.TAYLOR at preferredrealtyja.com. That's PREFERREDREALTYJA.com.
Okay, we're gonna get that up right away. Just so as people have any, just make sure I have it correct there. As people have
Perfect.
any questions or anything, want to get in touch with you, they can do that immediately and touch base with you as we go through our conversation. Awesome. Now, one more question along those same lines. Now, if say I'm a young person living in Jamaica, maybe I'm coming.
As you are.
Thank you. I just turned 40, so thank you for that. And I'm coming from Kingston. I have a decent career. Maybe I'm married and I'm looking to start my family. I'm looking to buy my first home. How should I be guided going to the Expo and potentially the conference?
Again, talking to any of the realtors that are in the Expo, you would have some sort of a budget. I always advise clients that are looking to buy for the first time, if they're not cash purchasing, go to the bank, get a line of credit, get a letter of credit from the bank, so we know what we're looking for. You don't want to look at a $350,000 home when the bank says I can only lend you 150.
Mm-hmm.
You waste my time, you waste your time. So getting an idea of what you can afford helps when you start the conversation with any realtor associate. So that's my first recommendation, is make sure you know what your spend is, what your limits are. I can start here, I can go here, and then what you need. What are the amenities? I need to be in a gated community. I need 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They need to be able to take pets because I've got a dog. Whatever your particular preferences are, make sure you have all of those noted before you go and speak, so it makes the job of the realtor associate or the realtor that much easier.
And I always like to encourage young people to, and perhaps they may not even be in a position to afford a home, or at least a home that they like to buy right now. But I think it's so important to do their research, do their information gathering, and figure out how they can put themselves in a position eventually to purchase a home, because there is, I think, like a mental block sometimes, either with young people or first-time home buyers, that this is impossible. And I think Jamaica has some of the most, and I say this in the context of having a conversation with a guy that does what I do here in Jamaica in the DR. And we were exchanging information about like loan to value rates. And here in Jamaica, you can get up to 95%, a 95% loan, which is unheard of in the DR. And we have the NHT, and we have things in place that make something that you may think is impossible or that will never happen to you possible. And I think it's a matter of looking into it, and again, figuring out your situation and putting yourself hopefully eventually in a position to be able to afford that, because there is help and there's also information and education, just like this conference and Expo that they can go to.
I mean, I agree with you, and you mentioned NHT. NHT is a very strong tool that is afforded to Jamaicans in the ability to own a home. So everybody working pays a contribution to NHT and can benefit. And over the years, the NHT has lobbied and been able to extend the amount of money and the parameters by which you can exercise the benefit. I think now it's up to 3 persons at 6.5 each, 6.5 Jamaican million each. So that's that's almost $20,000, $20 million, sorry. That's almost $20 million in a very low interest rate home in purchasing. 2 people, it's $13 million, or to buy a starter home is, in today's economy, a good start, you know?
Yeah, and it's very possible. It's very, very possible, and I do my best to get that in people's mind. And then also, do your research on figuring out what the requirements for that loan is, and don't be afraid or intimidated to speak to a lending institution. And you're at a point, especially if you're a young person, like they're going to want to encourage you, and they're going to want to help you, and they're going to want to educate you that you have the ambition and the forethought to be able to sit down and think like, eventually I want to be a homeowner, and they're going to give you that information. So don't think that like there's any such thing as like a stupid question or anything like that. They are there to help you. And there are ways, just because you hear like a big number, like $13 million dollar home or $20 million home, you'd be like, oh, forget it. It'll never happen. Like, no. There's a way. Let's start. And it starts with a conversation.
And it does start with a conversation, and it really is about, I think sometimes the hardest part of purchasing first time is that down payment that the developer or, facilitator wants in a new home. Normally it's 10%. And again, that sometimes seems, magnanimous, and hard to reach. But again, talking to your lending institution, walking into NHT and speaking to a representative to get the details of what you need and how you can go about it, because they're in the business of facilitating, just like the lending institution is in the business of lending. So they want to lend you the money. So it's for you to speak to them to make sure that you can meet the requirements and get it done. Because again, the investment in a home is one that you can't lose off anytime. Real estate is something that appreciates daily.
And with that, I will come back to the conference and expo in a bit, but I do want to get your perspective on the real estate market generally overall in Jamaica, and I'll just leave it at that as an open question.
I would simply say it's vibrant, active, positive. The demand for homes is continuing to grow. So there's always supply and demand issues. It's almost as you want to say that you can't build fast enough in certain areas. Again, listening to you both with Chairman Wint and President Johnson last week, they spoke about the booming outside of Kingston and St. Andrew, because with the influx of or the infrastructure putting of the highway, for example, the South Coast Highway, Mandeville is 45 minutes from Kingston. You lived in the States, and you know that a commute easily to go to work is an hour. So if you've got a 45-hour commute from Mandeville to Kingston, it's no different. I mean, Jamaicans probably weren't used to that, but now the fact that it's an hour away, Mandeville is going to boom. Manchester, Clarendon, other parts of St. Catherine outside of Portmore and Spanish Town are going to boom because of the proximity that the highway has made Kingston. Montego Bay is expanding exponentially daily. I know you did a feature on Pinnacle. Pinnacle is putting 4 towers into a prime area in Reading. There's a Montego Bay bypass. So the bypass is going to take you basically before you get into the town coming from Iron Shore and drop you out at Bogue. The road that the the area that's adjacent to the bypass is going to boom because, again, space for people to go. Infrastructure is going to have to be developed. The roads are going to have to widen. The electricity, the water, all of those things are going to have to be put in place because the demand for growth in the second city is huge. And again, somebody living in Hanover coming into Montego Bay to work on the east side, right now it's over an hour and a half sometimes in the morning because of the traffic backup. But that same person working on the west side of Montego Bay gets to work in half an hour. So Hanover is going to boom. You know, Negril, you were doing a little thing on Negril a while ago, going to the West End. Peaceful, quiet, nobody wants it to change. But in time, it's going to change because there's going to be supply and demand, and it's going to grow. Jamaica is poised for growth in real estate in all 14 parishes.
Well said. You're giving me goosebumps talking, man. Because like,
just buy the property in Negril and invite me down for a weekend. That's all I ask. My wife and I will be there in a heartbeat.
I got you. And I mean, and I appreciate you giving us that breakdown because there is, and it's hard. And I think this is why we got to keep talking about it. And in a sense, I feel that kind of like even what I'm doing, like I really don't feel like I'm doing anything special. Like I think where the specialness is in the fact that this is happening and this is happening now, and all I'm doing is presenting the information that.
But it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle that's needed. You know, you may not think it's special, but we do, and that's why we're sitting here today talking, because we see the value in what you do. Humility is one of your foremost charms. But let me tell you, the job that you have done and continue to do is just amazing. And I can't thank you enough for wanting to be a part of what we're doing at the RAJ through the IREC conference and Homeowners Expo. I really can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. Thank you. I don't take compliments well, so I appreciate it. I'll just leave it at that. Thank you very much. But it's just really such an exciting time for Jamaica, and you've done a beautiful job in just laying out like really literally across the country why that is. And like my real motivation more than anything else, like of course I welcome anybody who's interested in investing in Jamaica and moving here. Like yes, come one and all, but it's more so us Jamaicans, particularly who are living abroad, and the Jamaicans who are here in Jamaica. And I feel like I could be wrong. I feel like Jamaicans here in Jamaica, they understand, they see the changes, especially if you've been around, a few decades here and there. You're understanding and you're feeling the changes that are happening throughout our country. But there, and I feel like a lot of things that happen in the news get sensationalized a little bit, and I think that it detracts people, particularly people in the diaspora, from even considering investing in Jamaica. And I'm just like, please, of course, do make the best decision possible for you and your family, but highly, highly consider investing here and highly open your mind to what is happening here. And that is like a big motivation for my channel and what I do here. And we're definitely having some headway with that in a big way. And so I think like not only just hearing it from me and me sharing my knowledge, information, and experience as to what's happening here on the ground, but like having experts like yourself come on here and just like lay it out just like you did. I think that really, hopefully makes a strong case for somebody like, okay, all right, maybe I'll come to the conference, maybe I'll come check it out, and I hope that's what happens.
And I hope so too, because again, at the end of the day, like I said, the opportunities in real estate are endless. The value, again, that you get in the purchase or acquisition of real estate, whether residential or commercial, is, mind-boggling. I mean, homes appreciate not exponentially, but certainly when you look at it over a decade, tied to the US dollar. I mean, you might be talking about 30% increase in value. Figures like that have happened. They're not fake. They're not made up. So getting in on the ground floor, finding somewhere, you might be somebody who has a dream house that you want to build, and you're looking for just a piece of land. Again, what you're looking for, how much space do you want, what size house do you want to build. We spoke about the South Coast and Mandeville to Kingston and the surrounding areas, but the North Coast, all the way from Port Antonio to Negril, vibrant. I mean, it's the sea, it's the coast, so there's all that desire for sea and the view and being close to the beach. And again, exploding. I mean, when you drive on the North Coast, you'll see developments after developments after developments, and they're being bought. So it's not that they're being built and left empty. They're being bought. So there's a market. You mentioned the diaspora and persons in the diaspora. Let me tell you, the market in Jamaica is vibrant enough for persons, especially those that are looking to make that second home purchase or retire. As you said, Jamaica is not what you hear on the news. If you watch any of the major networks in any of the major cities in the US, they've got just as much crime. There's just as many problems. So a safe haven, Jamaica affords that with gated communities. If you live in rural Jamaica, you become a part of the fabric of the land, and it becomes home if it's not where your family are from, but you decide to make roots there. It's easy to become or to feel like you are at home once you invest in Jamaica.
Well said. Well said. And you said a term before, ground floor. And with that, if there is an investor that is looking to invest in a property or a location or an area on the ground floor, and they're looking for like a high level of appreciation, where might you steer them? What direction might you steer them in terms of regionally?
Again, Kingston is robust, but it's also very busy. Mm-hmm. And it becomes hectic. Montego Bay is growing and expanding, as I said. So there's, St. Anne, Trelawney, Falmouth, with the building of the pier, has started to see a huge boom in value of real estate and projects and developments that are happening. The North Coast Highway, which is, a reasonable road to drive on to go from Montego Bay to Ocho Rios and then take the north-south to get down into Kingston. It's not far, the smaller towns in St. Anne. Again, like I said, it's just the opportunities are abound. It's just for someone to come, take the time to look, see what grabs you, and talk to a realtor, talk to an associate, somebody who can make it happen for you.
And you mentioned real estate in rural areas, and I can tell you there is like a very high interest in farming, and everything from owning many acres of farm to owning your home and then having like a small farm in a medium to large backyard, so to speak. Where would you recommend an area for somebody who's interested in doing some level of farming?
Again, out of the urban areas, obviously. So St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket, so that's where quite a bit of our local produce comes from. But Manchester is excellent for farming. Parts of Clarendon are excellent. Parts of St. Catherine. Westmoreland, been known for the flat arable land. So again, it's, everywhere, every parish has its own little um, piece of the pie that you can take and make and have, you know. So again, I'm not going to tell you that it's any one particular area. It's about coming and looking and seeing where and what suits you best. Um, Outside of the urban areas, the Kingston, St. Andrews, Spanish Town, Portmore, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Mandeville itself are, you know, urban, Ocho Rios, urban. So you step away from it, but 20 minutes away from Ocho Rios is prime farmland. So, you know, you're not in the wilderness then. You're close enough to everything.
Okay. And then stepping like maybe just slightly outside of real estate. And I just kind of want to get your thoughts on this because, like you said, there is like a high interest slash boom that's happening in real estate. And there's like a lot of new players. And I would even say the diversification of the people who are interested in real estate in Jamaica has really, really, it just become very, very eclectic, you know, and it's just people from all over the world, all different backgrounds. And would you like do you see any businesses that you can think of or industries that you can think of that would do well here? You know, and I'm thinking particularly if yes, I'm interested in real estate and interested in investing in Jamaica, but I'm also an entrepreneur and I'm also looking for opportunities to maybe open a brick and mortar of some sort. Is there anything that you see along those lines that you can recommend people that to look into or you think that would do well?
Um, a good question with a lot of answers.
Mm,
Again, in the growing areas, um, both in terms of commercial property, um, there's demands. I mean, there are demands for retail, there's demands for supermarkets, there's demand for all of the amenities that you would need as a household, as a homeowner in a particular, you know, demographic or geographical area. Something that I have seen in my tenure as a practicing realtor associate is there's a high demand in the West for warehouse space.
mm,
And the problem with that is it's usually less expensive to rent, and persons look at where they are and figure, okay, I can get a little more money as an owner if it's a retail space, but there's a high demand for warehouse space. And the areas that are focused for that type of development, the raw land, again, it's supply and demand. So people know that that there's a high demand for it. So the price is a little up there, but it's worth it because again, there's a huge demand for warehouse space. So certainly from my experience, and I mean, I'm based in the West, so my expertise is in the West in terms of knowledge of the lay of the land, and there's a high demand for commercial space.
mm. And is there what would you say that this warehouse space would be used for? Like general storage, manufacturing?
Either or both.
Okay.
You know, you find that there's need for storage. You have small manufacturing entities, people that are, you know, making things as simple as juices, cookies,
Hmm.
ice cream, to, you know, small household products. So the gamut is wide, the demand is high. Um, we spend our days looking for places for persons who want to do those things. BPOs are huge and probably next to tourism, the next largest sector in terms of job provisions. So places that persons can do their BPO call centers from, you know, those are things that are in high demand.
Do you think Jamaica is in a good position or can put itself in a good position to attract like say a multinational tech company like a Google or Apple or whatever have you, one of those, or even a mid-sized firm, and that they could do well here?
I do. Again, it's about the climate. The Many years ago, we had the 807, which was garment manufacturing, and that did well for a time. And I guess BPOs kind of took the place of that, as far as certainly using up those spaces that were factories of us, assembly factories, for the most part. But there are opportunities for companies like small to mid-size tech companies to come in and get the edge up on the others, because labor is not probably as high as it is in the States in terms of cost. And we have a very dynamic workforce. I know that in the early days, a lot of the call centers had come to Jamaica because of the ability for persons to speak English. The Far East used to be heavy in the call center, still are. But I remember I was on a flight once from Canada coming to Jamaica, and I sat beside a lady who worked for the Toronto Star. And she was coming to Jamaica to check on a call center that they had here.
Oh, wow.
And she told me that they had minimized what they had in India and the Philippines and poured all of that into Jamaica because they got enough complaints from their Canadian subscribers about a language barrier.
I see.
So, so something like that, Jamaica is poised to be a good fit for anything that looks like that or feels like that.
And I know AI is one of the topics at the conference. From your perspective, do you have any fears of AI kind of taking over that as a service and as a job, the call centers, BPOs?
I'm sure that it's a fear, but I don't believe the entire operation of BPO can be run by a machine. There's some truth to there's nothing like a live body. So I believe that it'll still hold its own.
Yeah, I hope so. I have my doubts because what I'm seeing is just so crazy and out of this
Oh,
world.
I mean, I watched I listened to a webinar yesterday, and
Mhm.
it blew my. I mean, it was an AI oriented webinar, and it blew my mind at where they are with it, and how quickly we've gotten there. So yeah, it's a cause for concern, but
Mhm.
again, at the end of the day, I do believe that the warm body does hold its own.
Mhm. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. And going back, you had mentioned the pinnacle, and then you were also talking about these ancillary businesses that kind of could work to support these developments and gated communities. And I get like anytime I do like a video like the pinnacle, I feature like these new developments, and many of them are luxury developments. And I'm definitely going to get more into the more affordable housing. I promise. I'm not trying to be biased with the programming here, but one of the pieces of feedback or criticism that I get is that how are the local or average how's the average Jamaican going to benefit from this? And one of the things I said, like, I mean, the most obvious is like, construction, and we kind of know that, and I accept that is, yes, short term. But I also want to put in the minds of those people criticizing that is that like like you were rightfully saying, is that these developments are going to need so much support services, and I think it's important for people to think outside the box. Like you said, there's going to be a need for a supermarket. I think there's also going to need for, like, even just like the smallest of things, like an electronic store. People that their iPhones might break, or they need to get it fixed.
Or
A
their
good
Android.
mechanic. I'm sorry. Are there Android? Are they Android? Excuse me. Don't want to offend anybody out there.
I'm just saying.
But you get what I'm saying. There's
No,
many. I mean,
and
many
and
businesses.
so there's a property in Hanover called Ocean Point,
Mhm.
and within the gated community, they have a commissary. They have a strip mall within the confines. So to appease their residents, there's a commissary where you can go and get your simple groceries. Bunch of other stores that facilitate things like small electronics, a salon. All the variety of stuff is available, and these are how people are building these complexes, because again, added value to living in a particular environment. So to your point, there are the developments that cater to more than just somewhere to live, and the extension by which Jamaicans can benefit are available. I mean, you know, the supermarket that we talk about, I mean, the person who owns it still has to employ a series of persons to pack shelves, receive goods, cashiers, managers, backpackers, floor cleaners. I mean, you name it. So,
Mhm.
it's there's always a spillover, a spill off.
Yeah, totally agree. And I hope people can see that, and even for like a small to medium sized business or entrepreneur, I should say, who is looking for an opportunity here locally. I think those businesses can really do well to support those communities, and then do like extremely well in their own right. And I just see somebody here say cleaning service and general maintenance is needed for luxury apartments. Like, great. Yeah. Car wash, and the one thing I like about, do we have it here in the grill? No, I don't think we have it here in the grill. But like when I'm in Kingston, there are car wash services that will come to the apartment or wherever you're staying and wash your car right there. I think that's an incredibly huge convenience, especially for a busy person that can't necessarily go to a car wash, be there for an hour, whatever it is, and watch their car get washed. At least here in the West, like in the grill, like we don't have like a car wash in New York where you can just drive through and your car is washed in 10 minutes. Like it's a time
And
consuming
again,
situation.
again, the creativity of the people. You don't have the time to go to the car wash, so we're going to bring the car wash to you. You've got persons who come from St. Elizabeth 2-3 times a week with produce,
Mm.
and they'll stop and drive through a residential area. You place your orders, you get delivered to your door, as opposed to having to leave because you can't leave. You're limited in time based on your schedule. You're a at-home parent. You're a stay-at-home dad or mom, and so it's about the creativity of our people, and that is part and parcel of what makes Jamaica Jamaica.
Yeah. Yeah. Great point. And I was on, this is again a little left field here. I was on a live stream with that same gentleman, like who I said, who does the same thing I do. He does it in the
Yeah,
Dominican Republic. And one of the questions that he asked me, and I'd be curious to get your thoughts on this, is like, is cost of living, right? And I always tell people, especially people who are, maybe not Jamaican, or maybe they haven't been in Jamaica. I lived in Jamaica for a long time. Like, Jamaica is not like a Bali or a Colombia or like one of these very cheap places, that you come to and you're going to save all this money. It's probably, if you're coming from New York, yeah, it's going to probably be cheap to you. But you're not paying pennies on the dollar, for one, a home for sure. The appreciation of home value is going up. But even for, buying groceries and things of that nature. So my question to you is, what would you say like the baseline cost of living for like a family of four in Jamaica they're looking to live in a gated community, husband, wife, two kids.
Wow. For the last 50 minutes, I've been comfy. You've now put me in the hot seat. Um, I mean, I don't even know if I can answer that, Throp.
Right.
It's, I mean, to rent in
Yes.
a gated community, if you've got a husband and wife and two kids, that's, you're talking about a 3-bedroom unit. You could be in the, depending on where it is and the amenities, $15, $18, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 a month.
Yep.
And how do you live? Do you eat steaks? Do you eat chicken? Do you eat fish? So it's a hard answer. I mean, it's a really hard question to answer because it depends on all type of variables. So I'm going to struggle to answer that, and I'll beg a pass because I'm
Good.
really
No,
not
good.
sure I can answer it.
I was just as uncomfortable when he asked me that question. And then we were just like kind of doing the math live in our heads. And I think, for the majority of my audience here, they're looking to either move to Jamaica to, at the very least, maintain their lifestyle from wherever they're coming from or moving from, or to elevate it, right? And for the most part, as you're saying in your example, depending on what you eat and what you do, I think people are looking to be able to go out for dinner maybe a couple times a week, maybe go to the movies once a month, and to also give their children, like a fulfilling life experience in growing up in Jamaica. So you want them to, join different clubs and do this and do that. And so we came up with, and he said the same thing was for Dominican Republic. You're 2-3 bedroom. You're probably going to be paying for rent, like you said, 2,000, 2,500 a month. And the bottom line number we came up with is like it's probably going to cost you about 5,000 US a month. And of course, you can do it a lot cheaper. Of course, you can, go live in the mountains in a non-gated community and live in nature and have a rustic lifestyle, that no hot water, and living on a farm, and maybe having a fan-cooled room and mosquito nets. And people love that. I think a lot of people come to Jamaica specifically to live that lifestyle, and you can do it a lot cheaper. But I think, again, of course I'm generalizing here, but for the demographic of my subscribers, that's what they're probably looking for. And of course, if you're like a single person, it's going to be very different, and maybe you don't want to live in in a gated community. But for the lifestyle scenario that we were creating, we kind of came up with a 5,000 US per month budget.
And I
But
mean, that's not a horrible figure. But
Mhm.
again, like you said, it depends on really what you want and how you want to live. What I know is that I moved back to Jamaica 30 years ago. And when I used to come back, before moving back full time, my money went far.
Mhm.
I would say if going out, I lived in Toronto, and if I went out 3 nights a week and spent $50 a night, carrying $50 a night to go out 3 times a week in Jamaica, I lived large.
Mm.
And I don't know that, I can't say to you that has changed. But Jamaicans don't earn what Canadians earn or Americans earn or Europeans earn. So it's a different lifestyle living in Jamaica.
Mhm.
But Jamaicans, there's a saying that they say them turn them hana make fashion. Jamaicans always figure it out, and they live happy.
Mhm.
You know, and that's the one thing about our people, is the resilience of the people oops, sorry. Uh, the resilience of our people is probably one of our strong points, so we make it happen. We do what we need to do to be happy as a people. um, you sometimes don't know, and for the most part, we're proud people.
Mm-hmm.
So the man that's not earning what his boss is earning, you wouldn't know because he doesn't show it. He may grumble when he gets home, but when you see him out, he's proud. He's happy about his family, proud with his family, wife and children, to go to church on a Sunday or a Saturday. You would never know that they're wanting because they don't look it. And that's just the pride of the people.
Awesome, awesome. Well said. Everybody is agreeing with you vehemently. We're coming up on the hour mark, and I just want to, if anybody has any questions for JT, please get them in. I want to be, respectful of Mr. Taylor's time here. So just get them in, and we're gonna start closing out the.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to talk and run, but I have a couple other things that I need to get to. But yeah, I'll be willing to answer any questions in the next 5 minutes or so, as best as I can. And again, my email is there if anyone has any questions for me, whether it's regarding real estate in general or the conference and homeowners expo. Either one, I'm able to answer questions. Know that most of the information that you would need to know about the conference is on the website. And I know you're going to flash that up in a second.
Yeah, it's right above us. It's right above us. Everybody can see it above us.
Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. So between the website for the conference and where is it? The other side.
Yeah.
That way. My email. But yeah, I shoot some questions at me. I'm sure I can answer a few.
And I will also say, again, encourage you if you have any. I always encourage people, please get granular with your questions about your specific situation. It really helps us all out. And I will also encourage you, if you have those specific questions about real estate, please reach out to JT here. His email address is at the bottom of your screen, and you can ask him your particular real estate questions. And I'm sure he's a great, amazing resource, as you're already hearing, for all things real estate throughout Jamaica. He obviously knows the market well and can really steer you in the right direction. As I'm not seeing any questions come in at this time.
Great. I guess I was that thorough.
You were that thorough, but let's close it out with back to the conference and the expo. And I know a lot of people I've gotten emails and messages that a lot of people are going to be coming, and I think that is great. With the expo, the expo is the second, it's in the middle, and it's the second half, right?
Well, it's the Friday and the Saturday, so 19 and 20.
Okay, great. So was it you? We were talking about the expo and the conference being in Montego Bay, right?
Right.
And I think that is also a huge plus. It's I was last week for calling it the second city, which I won't do again. But Montego Bay is a great city, not just for the conference. I think it's also a great city to explore. And I just want you to touch on that a little bit before we close out.
Montego Bay is referred to as the second city. I don't know. A Kingstonian may slap you on the wrist, because for a long time, Kingston was the focal point of Jamaica. Our tourism product in Montego Bay and its environs has certainly ignited Montego Bay into a urban center, with the gamut of restaurants, nightlife, beach life, um, BPOs, a full gamut of life's experiences are in. There's a cinema. We have activities for children. There's dance schools. There's swim clubs. Um, so there's wholesome family life that's available in Montego Bay. There is great schools, private and public, at the elementary, primary, secondary, tertiary level. I think Montego Bay now has four different tertiary institutions based there, which is huge for a growing city. Um, and as I said to you earlier, the development and expansion of the city will only see these amenities grow. So I encourage persons that are look in the Montego Bay area, as my as a alternative to the big city.
Right.
A little slower paced. And again, like I said, it's friendly. It's a friendly city. It's welcoming. Um, those of you that are looking at it from a business standpoint, the Chamber of Commerce is a huge organization that does a lot for the city itself. So I welcome you all to give me a buzz, drop me a line on the email, and let's see if we can't find you somewhere to set up in Montego Bay.
Awesome, awesome. And I think we got two quick questions that I think are very good ones and relevant.
Sure.
And this one is from Andret, and he asks, they're only available to go one day for the conference. Which day will help me gather as much info as possible?
Both days, because again, it depends on what you want to learn. I know that the schedule of sessions should be up on the website, with the speakers between today and tomorrow, because we've been finalizing some speakers. We had some last minute changes, some tweaking of topics based on persons' interests. So, but again, depending on what your purpose is about real estate, I would tell you it's going to depend. If you're looking about buying, I think the Expo is an excellent opportunity to speak to realtors about buying. The conference will speak to you about the nuts and bolts of the business of real estate. But certainly if you're looking about buying or acquiring assets, the Expo would probably be more suited.
And then thank you for that. And last question, is this an annual event?
No, it's not. I believe the Realtors Association of Jamaica, who are the promoters of the event, are trying to do it every other year. So it actually should have been at the end of 2023, and there were some challenges, so we moved it. So probably the end of 2025 will be the next one.
So make sure you come in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Exactly. You don't need to wait 2 years. Come in 2 weeks.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much. My guest has been Junior Taylor, the organizer of the conference. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate all the knowledge that you have given us here today. And I know the audience appreciated it as well. So thank you so much. And I will see you in 2 weeks at the conference and Expo.
If you don't invite me to the grill before, but yeah, definitely in 2 weeks at the conference. Thank you very much. And again, to your audience, it's, April 18 to 20, make your way to Montego Bay Convention Center. 2 days of conference, 2 days of expo, lots of info, lots of insight, and a good time will be had by all. Look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you so much, JT.
Thanks, Rob. Talk soon.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, that was awesome. I hope you all enjoyed that one. I know I did. These have been fantastic, and now I'm thinking like, man, is there a way I can keep doing this even after the conference? They have been really providing some stellar guest here. And like I said, and I opened up with, I've just learned so much on these things on these Thursdays. So I'm glad we're doing these twice a week live streams. And I want to encourage you to go to the website, which I put up there again, irec.realtorsjamaica.org, to get as much information as you can about perhaps coming. And like somebody was saying, I think it was who was it, Andre? You may have a limited time or can only come one day or something like that. I think it's worth making it out there. I think it's worth making it out there if this is something that you're interested, or if you're not familiar with a particular part of the country. Maybe it's St. Thomas, maybe it's Kingston, maybe it's here in the Grill, and you want to find out more information on opportunities. I think this is a great place to go to. And you have, again, everything and everyone under the one roof. You're going to have builders, you're going to have contractors, you're going to have realtors, you're going to have lending institutions. And, this is something that I am going to be at, and I'm obviously supporting in a big way. And it's something that I really do believe in. RMB is asking the venue. It is going to be, sorry about that, it's going to be at the Montego Bay Convention Center. So can't really ask for a better venue. If you haven't been there, it is really spectacular. It is something that Jamaica should be, and I know is proud of as far as a venue. As far as the venue is concerned, it's ultra modern, it's sleek. I haven't been there in a while, but the times that I used to be part of I still am part of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, but I was much more involved. And our conference used to be there every year, JPEX, and the service there has always been spectacular. The venue infrastructure itself is beautiful. The location is great as well. Ample parking, and it's huge. I don't know how many thousands of square footage of conference space that they have, but it's huge. That's all I'll say. And I'll have a booth there if I haven't made that clear already. So there will be a ThropX booth there, and the entire Throp Media team will be there throughout the duration of the conference. And so I would love to meet as many of you as possible. If you want to stop by, say hello. We can do that, talk real estate, chop it up a little bit. I'm all for that, all for doing that. And we're going to be, the team's going to be staying in Montego Bay throughout the conference. So we're very, very excited for it as a team internally here. And I think this is just so awesome. I know JT said that they were supposed to do it in 2023, but couldn't do it. So the time, even though they couldn't do it last year, I think the timing is great. I think it's fantastic. I think we're lucky that it's happening in 2024, because there are so many amazing, great things that are happening, not only in real estate, but just in and throughout Jamaica in general. And to just get more information, and as JT mentioned, getting in on the ground floor, particularly in some of these micro markets throughout Jamaica, I think this is a great opportunity to gather information and maybe even write a check. Who knows? Whatever your position is. Shanna is asking, are you selling merch at your booth? I wasn't going to, but thank you. I will. We have a lot of merch left over from ThropX last year, so thank you for that idea. I wasn't even going to do that, but we will do that. We will have merch at the booth. Shanna, I appreciate the idea. You're always coming up with these awesome ideas, and I really, really do appreciate you for that. So yes, we will have merch there. Gotta let Candice know to get the the Stripe account up and running, get it warmed up, so we can have that ready for you. Thank you, Shanna. I appreciate that so much. Let's go. I didn't see many questions come in. I want to see if I missed anything or anybody's questions. I see some check-ins. What's going on, MDL? Good to see you. What's going on, cuz? And nice to see you. We got a couple of realtors in the building. Let's see if we could shout them out. Hold on. We got Lantandria, I hope I'm saying that, holder, right? Hi all, Lantandria Street holder, LSH Realtor, associate from Keller Williams, Jamaica, Montego Bay. Thank you for hopping on the live. I saw another one. We got Nicole Chatu Real Estate connecting from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Nice to have you on the live. Thanks for joining. I got another one up here. Andrea Stoltz, member of the IREC and Home Expo Planning Committee, and also realtor associate. Thanks for joining. I think, hold on, I want to make sure we get these shout outs of these realtors because they are going, I'm assuming you all are going to be there at the expo and at the conference. So get to know them before you get there, right? Let's see here. Sorry, I missed this. I would have loved to tell JT this. But anyway, this is from Eddie. He says, JT, big up yourself. I worked for you for years ago as a cook at your Montego Bay restaurant. Link me. Need some more of that mentorship I used to get. Oh, awesome. Sorry, I didn't see that in time. I would have loved to tell JT this live. Hopefully he sees this and he sees your message, Eddie. Thank you for that. Joshua tuning in from the UK. Awesome. Nice to have you. Oh, Alfonso, thank you. I told you I'm not comfortable with these compliments. Alfonso says, hands down, I think Throp is one of our greatest interviews. I appreciate the work he's putting in to help our beautiful country to find its footing in the growth of the economy. My hat's off to you. Thank you so much, Alfonso. And I thank you for your support. I know you've been day one supporter here. So I appreciate you. And I also always appreciate um your engagement and your insight. And Alfonso says, I was born in Kingston, but Montego Bay is my spot. The energy is different. A lot of development is taking place. Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, the Pinnacle, and a new Price Mart is under construction. See, I told you this guy is always giving some inside information. Where's the Price Mart? I didn't even hear about this. If you're still on, Alfonso, break that down for us. Let us know where the Price Mart is. But great to know that. And I could tell you, back in the day, we were travelers. We were like one of their top customers because my dad, when he was running the hotel and the Price Mart opened up, I used to hate this, but we used to get up at like 4 in the morning with our Town S, Toyota Town S, if you know that what kind of vehicle that is, and we used to drive to Price Mart, get there before it opens. We used to sit in the parking lot. I used to be starving, half asleep, and then we used to like just buy all these things that we needed for the hotel: folding chairs, tables, laundry detergent. Oh my gosh, I do not miss those days, honestly. And we used to go probably at least once a month. And my dad really used Price Mart in a good way to help build out the hotel and get certain amenities there in Price Mart, and drive right back as soon as we filled up the car. And then I used to, and then eventually, like, when I took over, like then I used to do that hustle, so to speak, and drive out there and drive back myself without my dad. Uh, I would have loved to have a big Price Mart in Montego Bay, and I could have skipped that drive. But I think businesses like that, I think it's just so awesome, and it's a great economic indicator when you see these large big box businesses like that come and move to our area. It just speaks to not necessarily what is happening there and now in that city in Montego Bay, but it speaks to what they anticipate is to come, and they are looking to meet future demand in that investment. And I think it's a great thing that they've. I hope I'm pretty sure, fairly sure they've had great success with their branch in Kingston, and they're looking to have great success in their branch in Montego Bay. So that's awesome to hear. That's the first time I'm hearing that. And yeah, at least I don't have to drive to Kingston anymore to go to Price Mart. Um, Josh, yeah, I wish I had asked this question. Great question, Josh. Excuse me, Joshua. I don't know this. I meant to get this answered. If there's going to be a virtual component to this, I will find out and I will let you all know. You're the second person to ask this. Thank you. We got a few more realtors here. We got Savasha Powell. I hope I'm saying that right, from Scott's Realty Limited in Clarendon. And we have Marcia Williams, realtor from KWJ. What are we saying here, Marcia? I would love to be there, but have very little time. Thus, I will be checking the schedule to see how best I will be able to fit in. Good evening, everyone. I'm Natasha McDonald, realtor associate with Keller Williams Jamaica Realty. Shout out to you, Winthrop. Great move. Thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah. Hopefully you can make it out, Natasha. Hopefully you can make it out, Marcia, and meet these people in the comments. And I'd love to say hello to you as well. Alfonso says it's on Rose Hall, close to the airport. Awesome, awesome. Damn, Montego Bay is like doing big things, real big things. I don't know if I could live in Montego Bay. No hate, Alfonso. I know you say that's your spot and everything, but I don't know. I think this rural beach life has got me hooked. Maybe when I have a family, maybe things will change. But and then obviously, my hotel business is here. But very, very, very impressed with what is happening in Montego Bay. Or maybe I could live in Montego Bay, work in the grill kind of thing, like JT was saying, with the road networks being built out. Who knows? I think I think there's a lot of things possible that perhaps weren't possible just a few short years ago. That just the way the country is moving. Exciting times. So anyway, I think we're gonna close it out there. Few last minute quick announcements. Um, just want to reiterate this conference, this International Real Estate Conference and Expo is from April 18th to the 20th. So literally 2 weeks from today. And we will have a booth there. We have a ThropX booth there. Our regular live stream will be this Sunday, 12 o'clock, same time, same place. And we will also next Saturday, I'm trying to find the flyer here. I'm struggling. Next Saturday, we're going to have this is our third installment of, and excuse the dates here, of the Thropper Think Tank Zoom call. So if you want to hop on a group consulting Zoom call, the 13th of April, you can go ahead and sign up on the Patreon. Yeah, 13th of April at 12 o'clock. Would love to have you join us. You can sign up. The Patreon link is can't see me here, but it's in the description below, and you can sign up and become a Patreon. Would love to have you join the discussion. It's been very rich, to say the least, these discussions, and we go quite a bit of time. And I'm here for you, and I can't even say it's like I'm here for you. It's more like as a group and as a community, a micro segment of the community, like we are here for you. So it's been really awesome having these Zoom calls. And I think that's it. I'm gonna have another. I'm giving you a second video this week. So that's gonna be out tomorrow. Long form video with I think it was Tisha. I don't know if you're still here. You made the suggestion. I'm trying to scroll up. You made the suggestion. I feel like it was Tisha. I could have it wrong, giving the credit to the wrong person. You had made the suggestion that I reach out to Bless Up Jess, and we've done a couple of collaborations together, and I'm going to be putting that interview out tomorrow. So, and Bless Up Jess, she is an Australian solo female backpacker traveling around Jamaica, and her shtick, if you will, is showing that Jamaica is a safe place to travel and to traverse as a single female. And that is going. Oh, Tisha is there. Good. It was you, right? Wasn't it you? If I'm getting this wrong, was it you who made that connection for me? I think a couple of Sundays ago. Yes, so she's confirming it was you. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it. It's been great. And I was on. I don't know if you saw, but she interviewed me on her channel, and I think she put it out earlier a couple of days ago. So thank you for that. And we're going to put that, my interviewing of her, we're going to have that out tomorrow evening. So make sure you catch that. And one more realtor, Susan Millwood, real estate associate from Keller Williams. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hopping on, and hoping to see you at the Expo and conference. And just saying, yes, it was me. Yes, it's your fault. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to leave it right there. So I will see you on Sunday, 12 o'clock. Thanks for joining, everyone. We got one more left. We have only one more left in this series. Next week, 5 p.m. I hope you will come back and join, and it should be fun. And then after that, we got the conference and expo, and we'll be there. Have a great evening, everyone, and I'll see you on Sunday at 12.